So, Kemi Badenoch gives Keir Starmer a bit of a grilling yesterday. Now, it depends, staunch Labour supporters will say he gave her a grilling. Staunch Tory supporters will say she gave him a grilling. I'm not staunch on either side. So I'm Switzerland in this. I just watched it for what it was. And she did. She absolutely held him accountable. In her delivery, there were facts, figures, and scenarios that happened. Keir Starmer's response was patronising. Clearly, he was antagonised by it. It irritated him. How dare she pull him up? But he resorted to bully boy, petty child tactics by putting up his smokescreen. He didn't answer one of the questions. All he did was go, I remind you of the last government. I remind you of what's happened in the last 14 years. I remind you. And it's like, oh my God, is that the best you can do? You're supposed to have been some top barrister, and all you can do is hark back to the past without actually and of course I know why you're doing it. You don't want to address the question, because if you address the question, you're going to actually have to put your hand up and go, oh yeah, that's awkward. We cocked that up, didn't we? But he can't. I mean, he actually cannot accept any accountability for his actions, and he is just such an aggressive bully. I mean, if I saw him behave on any other platform, I'd be having serious concerns about why he felt the need to behave the way that he did. And of course, it's a bear's pit in Parliament. It is, you've got to be robust. You've got to have broad shoulders there. Holy moly, you've got to have broad shoulders there to cope with what they throw at each other. So I get it, they dish it out and they've got to take it. But his delivery, his style, start watching him, start looking at rhetoric is such an overused word, but it works. Look at the rhetoric that comes from that side. And I dare say it was exactly the same in the Tories when they were there. I'm not interested in past history. I'm interested in right now. I am interested in past history, obviously. But for the purposes of this, let's just look at what we've got in front of us. Keir Starmer is an aggressive and looks relatively ill-educated bully, because he cannot answer Kemi Badenoch's questions. And she's really rattled him. And, on some policies, I rather like that. I find it refreshing to see somebody who can fight an argument with stats, figures, facts, and then not get drawn into the petty squabbling. It shows her in a very different light, and in a very mature light. It makes me feel like she's actually got an understanding of what's going on. But it's good telly, isn't it? It's up there with sort of Christmas Gavin and Stacey for some of it. You ought to, if anyone has a minute, just watch it. It is quite funny. Although you do go, oh my God, you're the people in charge of our country. Holy moly. I'd love to have a go. If you could buy that as a Christmas experience, that would be so much fun. Anyway, I digress. I have the dogs to walk. It's been nice.